Good afternoon. I'm Carrie Linville, a year 3 or rather 8th grade language arts teacher at Paisley Abbey Magnet School here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As a member of the impact team for our school and a graduate student in instructional technology at UNC Charlotte, I've been provided with the opportunity to design, create, and implement a professional development session for our staff. While I've spent the last 8 years doing this for adolescents, I have to admit that the task of doing the same for adults, my colleagues, was a rather daunting task. One of the first considerations was who. Who would be participating in my course? Since all teachers are required to attend weekly professional development sessions, I realized this course would be available and of interest to all teachers on staff, regardless of grade level or content area. So what are the characteristics of our staff? Well, like many schools, Paisley has veterans as well as beginning and first year teachers. And not only would participants range in experience in terms of years teaching or years in education, but they would also vary in their competency in using technology. So this brought me to the next step in design. What would I need to focus on? I decided that because communications is so crucial between teachers and support staff, parents, and students, that I would concentrate on basic communication tools found on the internet. My initial list of objectives provided for an 8-week course. While I was very excited about introducing staff to cool Web 2.0 tools such as Voki and podcasting, I also recognized that there would be time constraints in implementation. Additionally, I remembered that our impact team had actually led some informal sessions during the previous semester that included these tools, as well as Symbaloo, Vocaroo, and Edmodo, just to name a few. So it became necessary to modify my instructional goals and to narrow my focus. I decided that I would instead have teachers concentrate on the following goals: creating and sharing documents and spreadsheets using Google Docs, creating and utilizing other Google tools such as polls and forms, creating event invitations via email, which is Web Outlook for our school system, Microsoft Outlook, and identifying and applying appropriate criteria for maintaining a useful website, which would include embedding images, videos, and other things on their personal teacher sites. So after determining that my target audience and instructional goals, I had to decide when the professional development sessions were going to take place. This proved to be very difficult to coordinate because our school's curriculum coordinator, who was in charge of professional development ultimately, had already booked so many other topics that had to be addressed during this school time. But since teachers are expected to meet so often for so many various things, I decided to make some of my resources and activities available on the website so that they could do asynchronously and that we would have at least one live session. We finally were able to arrange a date of Wednesday, October 23rd, where I would be able to facilitate website training. The question of where the session was held was quite simple. It needed to be a space equipped with the classroom solution technology that we were able to purchase with impact funds. This allowed me to display the website and rubrics on a large monitor for participants to follow along. Of course, each participant also brought their own personal laptops as well. So, why was I holding this session? In other words, how was I going to justify to teachers, to my colleagues, using their time to come in and listen to me? Because who am I? Well, the purpose of the session would be to provide participants with copies of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System's website rubric. Many teachers didn't even know one existed. I didn't myself until planning this session. To answer questions about adding and organizing and modifying their pages within the website, and to help teachers directly with their web page. The final question remained: how was I going to pull this off? To prepare for the session, I updated my own website to include a page entitled Technology for Teachers and revised a survey that I had created for the course as it had originally been written. I knew I would have at most 1.5 hours with teachers, so I kept the instructions and goals for the session to a minimum. Following the professional development session, I reviewed websites, the survey results, and interviewed participants. A significant, although unwritten and unplanned detail of implementation is the number of informal work sessions with colleagues. It is worth noting that more teachers received advice and assistance and instruction from me during lunch, at the copiers, in the hallway, during breaks, just kind of here and there rather than at the actual scheduled session. As for the products and what I had to show for the professional development session, the most consistent and useful way that I was able to evaluate the effectiveness of this instruction was through informal interviews with colleagues, just kind of getting their one-on-one feedback. So many teachers preferred a face-to-face meeting over other modes of instruction, which was evidenced in the survey results, that I decided that I might as well conduct my follow-up the same way. So I just went to individuals with follow-up interview questions to get some personal and direct feedback. Some of the questions that I asked of participants included asking them to describe their interest in web-based communication, to describe their concerns about web-based communication, to describe their motivation and their goals for participation in technology. Not that they had a choice with these sessions, but kind of moving forward, why might teachers be motivated to volunteer for technology professional development? Because, of course, our impact team will be moving forward, I'm sure, next year with additional technology implementation. I wanted to know what they had learned about maintaining an effective website, since that was the specific focus of our one-on-one face-to-face session, and how they plan to move forward with using Google Docs and spreadsheets and how they saw the advantages of it. Other products from the course, of course, would be email invites that I received, Google Docs that were shared, and exemplary websites. So how do I feel about the professional development course to wrap this up? Well, all in all, I'm pretty satisfied with the results of the session that I led on website evaluation. The feedback was important to me, and it really showed that our staff has benefited from technology instruction provided by the entire impact team these several years that we've been involved in the process, and through my own professional development session as well. Teachers really do want to embrace both new and old technology, and they want to know everything that it has to offer them as leaders in education. Teacher responses are really going to help, as I said before, our school impact team move forward in making decisions regarding professional development for technology. So while I would have liked to have implemented more sessions and teach additional cool tech tools to teachers, I also know that time is limited and there will be opportunities in the future. So moving forward, I want to work more closely with the curriculum coordinator as well as assistant principal at the beginning of the school year, so that technology can have a more significant place in our school-wide professional development. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in cyberspace.